If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 552. Still Got Game's official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as fucking always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I'm your one and only Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
And I am sometimes Shadow, but now I'm also Brian Emmerich.
That was a change.
Yeah.
On the fly. Yeah, that was good.
I said always, so I was like, yeah. Sometimes.
I like it. So we are back.
That wasn't good.
All right. Brian's judging himself, which probably he should. But we're back 2 episodes in a row. There's no episode next week for the 4th of July holiday week. So you better enjoy this one, and we'll be back 2 weeks from now. But we are here, and we're doing the show, and we might as well just get it started the usual way and jump right in the mailbag for feedback and questions from our last episode. And remember,
next week I could do an hour of stand-up on the regularly scheduled show if you want.
Why don't
you guys weigh in on this? Yes.
I have something that week or day or whatever it is.
Whatever time it is, I have something, yes.
I'm busy doing something. Or if I'm not, I can find something.
Oh, absolutely. There has to be something better than watching Selden do dad joke stand-up.
Really?
Yes, 100%, yes. So, reminder, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Bush Pony 1969 comments. Thanks for using my comment last show. I was talking about your podcast at work, and 3 of my pals subscribed right at the lunch table. I'll continue to evangelize until I die.
Wow.
That's a ride or die fan right there, Bush Pony. Yes.
Those are some nice words. Thank you.
Yes. I mean, the only thing he can do additionally is to see if the business that he works for wants to sponsor the show.
Wow. Selden just can't leave well enough alone. He's like, well, that was nice, but you could be nicer.
I gotta set the bar. I gotta set it higher. No, thank you, Bush Pony. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
3 friends.
Yes, absolutely. You. 3 more listeners is better than 0. All right, next up. This name I've read 20 times today, and I can't tell if it's Chuck Sucks Not or Chuck Sucks Not.
I think he sucks not.
But Chuck Sucks Not asks, what do you think the next trend, I'm going to do the air quotes wherever Chuck used them, when do you think the next trend in video games will be? We've seen a lot from controller changes to motion, to cameras, to handhelds, to VR so far. What could be next?
I mean, are we talking like control-wise or experience-wise? Or
he seems to be all over the map here, because motion is very different than like Kinect, is very different than handhelds, is very different than VR. I still think the next big thing is going to be AR, but
yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I think AR is really where it's going. Is the big next move. Not necessarily playing in the AR space, as in you're interacting with the stuff around you, but just being able to have the Ray-Bans with games on the inside of the lenses,
and still be able to see what the fuck's going on outside.
As a normal person, like your self-driving cars, your robo-taxis, and like an augmented reality front windshield. Like you don't need to see out, just play your game right on there or something. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said the cloud gaming type thing, but that's already happened. So, because you can pretty much play anything you want anywhere, mostly. Yeah. So that's done.
Lots of it's done.
Yeah, I mean, control-wise, maybe the AR thing. I feel like they're going to, well, I don't know, because there's the 3 major companies, and then they got stuff like ROG Ally and Steam Deck. But otherwise, I mean, the 3 big companies all have pro controllers with all the buttons, extra buttons, programmable buttons. So that's taken care of, which is great. because I would have said, oh, maybe like premium controllers and things, but that's kind of already done. And like you have the Scuff, which you love,
I love.
and yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's, I think that it's actually going to maybe it's gonna de-innovate with the amount of money put into games. It's going to be smaller games. That's not really having to do with controls or with systems or anything, but I feel like a lot of companies aren't getting the returns they want, or they are, you know, the games are just taking too long and gotten too big, cost too much money. I think that's going to scale down a lot. We're going to get a lot of smaller experiences, but I don't know what kind of experiences will be. Might be AR, like you mentioned. That could be something that would happen with the glasses or with even phones. We know what Pokemon Go sort of had that, right?
Yeah,
With
it was
or
kind of
do you
like
like,
the most rudimentary version of AR. Yes, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I'll go with that. All right,
What I
but
would love to see is the rebirth of like the arcade. Like I know that you got your little, I would love to see that come back as an affordable option. Like you got all these places that are popping up in the malls
Dave
that are
and
like the
Buster's
Dave and
and
Buster's, and then you got the mall shops that are like the arcade, but you have to pay like $50 to go in, and you can play for unlimited during the day. I would like to see like just arcade cabs come back in random places, like type thing where you drop it like a
like
quarter,
there's
like
two at your pizza
yeah,
place or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
I would love to see that retro move happen again. That people would be interested in going out, and you can only play those kind of games there, and your high scores are only on that machine and type thing. So I think that'd be a
You
cool
know what,
movement to
Sullivan?
happen.
That
But
is not the dumbest thing you've said. That is, I actually agree with you. I would like that too. I'd like to go, and if I go to pick up a pizza and there's a Pac Man cab there, just to play Pac Man. But
yeah,
nobody has cabs anymore. Um,
I mean, they sometimes they will, but it'll be things like, hey, you can log into your account with the QR code, then you got all your high
oh,
scores there, and
yes.
then we keep track of you, and then hey, can we on that app we can sell you some stuff while you're not here,
Are
and
we allowed to text you?
yeah, we're
Yes,
allowed
yeah,
to
yeah.
text you. And it's always like, I mean, does texting ever cost anymore? I don't,
No,
hasn't it
and they're
always
always
just
like, warning, this may cost you.
charges might,
Yeah,
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 like,
charges
all
may
right, maybe
apply.
maybe if you have like a prepaid phone,
Or
possibly,
one of
but
those phones that they sell to super old people where they're like, oh yeah,
the flip phones.
get your flip phone and shit ass wireless, and you're like $5 a month.
Cricket,
25
Yeah,
text
Cricket.
messages a
Yes,
month.
yes, yeah.
cricket.
So yeah, the ghetto wireless ones probably still charge you for text, but nobody else
Yeah.
does. So, but great question. Chuck sucks not or Chuck sucks snot. Um,
I, I don't know about his name. I don't know for sure about his question, but thank you for it.
yes. All right, next up, Charisma Devil asks, how do you perceive the Switch 2 launch? Sure, it has been a great selling console, but I read online the attach rate is something like 1.7. I
I think
also
that
read
attach rate is
this.
high.
She's really pushing this. Like, all right, well, you said that it was selling really well, and your last question, I thought it wasn't selling well. So you said it was selling well. So okay, it's selling well, but is it attached low? I think the attach probably is low. I think it's because there aren't that many new games out for it. If you consider like attach being I bought this and I've also bought this at the same place, this game to go with it. You got Mario Kart, which is attached to it automatically. So does that even count as an
That
attached
breaks
rate? I
the.
mean,
I'm sure that
I
has
think
to
the
be
it's not all
count
counted
of them
into
is
the
though.
because
attach rate.
there's
Yes,
no way it would be over 1.0 if they didn't include Mario Kart
yeah.
as an attach rate.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you're going to buy a game with your system probably, no matter what it is. There are a
Well, if
few,
it's
but
1.7, that means that not everybody bought a
that's
second
true.
game.
Yeah,
So,
well, and the Mario Kart wasn't with all the bundle. It wasn't a bundle for everything. It
oh,
was
that's true
you
too.
could
Yes,
just
yeah,
buy the
yeah.
system or you get the bundle. So maybe it's, 1.5 and half of them are bundles, so then you got a 1.5. Then you get a little bit more, like a point 0.2
that
more. But
that's
what
what
is
bumps you
that?
up.
What is that? What other exclusives came out that day? A cup. There was the racing game, sort of like the F-Zero type
Oh,
racing
yes,
game.
yeah,
I can't
yep, yep, yep.
I can't remember the name. But otherwise, you get Donkey Kong coming out in a month that people will probably be waiting for. But I think people bought it to have it, to play their old games better, and play Mario
Get
Kart, and
future
then just kind of
games.
waiting.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
because there wasn't that much out, so I don't think you can fault them for. You can fault
Well,
them for
you
not
can
having
fault
stuff at
them for not
launch.
having a giant
You
launch.
you
Yes, yeah.
can fault them for that, but you can't fault them for not selling games they don't have because they don't have
Because
them.
they don't have them to sell. Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Donkey Kong will be out in like less than a month now, and that'll be a big one.
But
Yeah,
why do
but
you think that
otherwise,
that wasn't like? Why didn't they just hold off on the launch to make sure that that could be a launch title?
I think it's because they wanted to have Mario Kart be the big thing. Because if you got two major games the same day, they're
It
fighting each other.
bifurcates your audience. Yeah,
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 and
I mean,
people will be like, "I'm going to buy one or the other." But if
it's
you wait a month,
strategic.
they'll buy
Like
both.
everybody's going to be at the point where they're done with Mario Kart by the time Donkey Kong comes out. So it'll be
One or the other. But if you wait a month,
strategic.
they'll buy
Like
both.
everybody's going to be at the point where they're comes out. So
Yeah.
it'll be a nice.
who I consider to be Microsoft and Sony, where when they do a console launch, they launch with 6 to 8 launch titles every
Yeah,
time.
but if you really look at the launch lineups for those, they're not that great. They'll have one big game and they'll have five other like oddball games that also come out that day, which the Switch 2 did have, but no one bought them because they're just small potatoes. I don't know. I mean, like I think like Sheldon said, yeah, once people are done with Mario Kart, it'll be a month later and then they'll be ready for Donkey Kong. And I remember
I'll
when
buy
Switch
that.
came out.
Yes.
When Switch came out, they were pretty much on the we're gonna have one big game every month. Every month, month and a half, it'd be one big game, and they stuck to that for a while. So, you play the one game, you get tired of it enough, then you buy the next one, and you keep on going. And they had a really good first year or two with the Switch like that. So,
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean,
It's
but we
almost
don't
like
know
they
what's
should be
gonna
a
come out in
subscription
August.
service.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know
No.
what's going to come out in August or September or anything, though. I mean, Metroid Prime 4 still doesn't have a date, and that's kind of the next big game
Yeah.
that they have. And after that, we don't really know. So,
Did they have a reiteration of any kind of Wii Sports yet, or no?
no, they have the
Anything
they have the one
scheduled
the
for that?
Welcome Tour thing, which is just it's not Wii
Yeah, it's
Sports,
like
but it's
it's
just the cheapo game.
yeah.
Um, but no, they don't. Which maybe they will, but are people kind of done with that? I don't know.
I think
It's fun.
that's seen its time. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Everybody
my
loves a good
my
Switch bowling, updated Switch bowling. Come on.
yeah. My kid was asking about playing Wii Sports, so and he's like 11, so I need to bring that upstairs. Maybe I can't play it downstairs on the big screen because it's a projector. So if you stand in front of the projector, you can't see the image.
Oh, that's true.
So
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I'll take it upstairs. It's HDMI modded that I did, so I'll probably take it upstairs for them to try at some point because he wants to try that because you
Your
can't play that
bespoke
on.
mod. Yes, yes,
Yeah, you can't
yes.
play Wii Sports on anything other than a Wii or a Wii U.
It's true.
Um, which is kind of weird, I guess. You'd think they would have ported something like that to the Switch or the Switch 2. Maybe they will.
Maybe.
But I think that we'll just have to wait a little bit, Charisma Devil, and I think that that seems about right for what they have out at launch currently.
And last but certainly not least, Altius asks, we've seen the game industry mature in many ways over the past few years, from Microsoft selling games on competing consoles to cross-playing games to Game Pass subscription models. When do you see everyone hopping on this bandwagon?
I don't see PlayStation doing it at all. I think they keep doubling down on the fact that PlayStation's the only place to play their games. I know that they're porting it over to the PC like a year later or something like that, but they continuously say that we charge more. We don't have subscription because PlayStation's worth more, and I don't see them
Isn't that
doing
callous,
it. So
though?
it is, and it's very elitist of them. So it's I think it's going to bite them in the butt in long terms. But I would see Nintendo come to a more mature subscription model before PlayStation for sure. But
Do you
I don't know.
ever think we'll see a Nintendo title on another console maybe a year or two after launch?
No,
Not a
I
main
don't.
title. No, I don't think we did.
But they did branch out and they put that Mario game on iPhones and they've
Run,
done
yeah.
some testing of the waters, but They've always been so protective of their IP.
Well, that's all they do. Microsoft
That is
is
all they do.
and
Yeah.
does all sorts of stuff, and they have all sorts of things they get money from. But Nintendo is just games, and it's so no, I don't. I think this is what we do. This is what we make, and this is how we make money. And Sony is getting to that point. I mean, they make TVs,
Mhm.
but they used to be in a lot more electronics. That they still make some of it, but otherwise, PlayStation's kind of their big thing now. I know they do make other electronics, but not how it used to be. So
No,
they're getting a little
true.
more protective of it too. Not quite as much as Nintendo, but Microsoft can do that and just diversify everything to everywhere to make all the money because they have other things to fall back on if they need to, if it
Yeah. Do
doesn't
you need
work
to buy
out. But
Microsoft Word today? Do you need to use Excel?
right,
Do you need PowerPoint? Do you
Office,
need, yes.
Yeah, I mean Nintendo. I can
exactly.
see they're like third tier,
Azure.
like the Splatoon
Yep.
type of games should be going over to like multi-platform because I think Splatoon would do phenomenal cross-platform on the different systems.
I would agree with that.
And there's a few other games out there, but I don't think you'll see like a Mario or Donkey Kong come to anything else but Nintendo at this point.
Yeah,
But you know what?
not their pinnacle properties,
I
but
used to say that you'd never see Master Chief or Gears of War on another system or a Forza, and
no.
Microsoft is successful at it right now. So maybe who
Well,
knows? In a couple of years, they'll see the
Lessons
light
could
and
be
say,
learned. Yeah.
we still haven't seen Master Chief on another system yet, other than PC. Yet. So
Yet.
we'll see. It's gonna be a weird day because that's gonna be the last domino to fall. It's just wow, that'll be weird.
That'll be weird. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great question, Altius. If any of you folks out there have comments or questions like these, or even better, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooledtoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over into what we're playing? Sullivan, what have you been playing this week?
I actually played a couple different games this week. Blueprints is still my number one game. Still spending lots
Ah,
of
what a
hours in that game.
surprise. Shocker.
Loving that. Still digging deep into those final end game puzzles that are just unbelievably hard. As I said, I picked up the Switch too, so Mario Kart has been on the docket. Been playing that with my son. Blasted through the races, having a lot of fun with that. Got into Splitgate 2 again. They have uh, a version that's come out with basically the equivalent of a Call of Duty. Uh,
Shittier?
yeah, well, it's very the guns act very Halo like, so that's why I like it. But I have a feeling that most of the games I'm playing right now are against bots because I continuously keep winning matches.
And
So
that would be completely unlikely. Yes.
that would be completely unlikely. Other than that, I did spend a little bit of time in Rematch. Rematch is one of the new Xbox Live Arcade games that came out. It is I guess you would say it's a soccer game, but it's gonna play in the arena style, more like your
Cars?
yeah, the Cars. What the hell's that name? I'm trying to remember the name of the game. I can't
I
remember it.
can't
Ah,
remember it either.
the
Where
Flying Cars
the
soccer
cars
game.
hit the
Yeah.
soccer ball, and yes.
Yeah,
Why
so
the
it plays like
why are we all dumbasses?
So
Right? What?
blah blah league. Whatever.
Rocket
So
League.
Rocket
Rocket
Yes,
League.
League.
Thank
yes,
you.
yes. All right.
Yeah, so it plays a lot like
Thanks,
Rocket
Shadow.
League, and I see
Set spike.
it's gonna definitely take some players away from Rocket League, because it's just kind of that same feel, but it's a lot more fun, I think, because you got a lot of individual moves and stuff like that that really bring the game up a notch. So liking
So
that
it's like football,
is el
football,
football.
football.
Football. You mean
Okay.
soccer? Yes, because our football goes like this.
Oh, American football.
No, real football.
Oh, hand egg. Got it.
And
But that wraps up pretty much what I've been playing. What about you, Shadow? What have you been playing?
So I have been playing some Mario Kart as well. I unlocked everything in Mario Kart. Not all the characters, but all the tracks and everything. Been playing some of that, but I've been going through and kind of skimming through my Switch stuff that I hadn't played much in the past and taken a look, and I've been playing some Super Mario RPG, I've been playing some Paper Mario N64 version, so some of that, little that, little that. I went back and played Forza Horizon 5 for a little while, just to kind of get some of those achievements and finish some of the stuff up there. Played some more Life is Strange. I'm almost done with that completely. Just kind of bouncing around I don't even have a big list of stuff, but it's just kind of like whatever, just trying this and that. I need to get back to Batman Arkham Origins to finish that. Recently I was like, oh yeah, I was kind of in the middle of that and I stepped away, so made sure I
Nice.
still had that disc in the system, which I do. Because that's the only way to play that is through an actual disc for backwards compatibility, which is weird
Oh, that's
because
old
they've
school.
never sold it digitally, I think.
Old school.
But
All right, so I got
old
a
school.
question. You were talking about you haven't unlocked all the characters in Super Mario Kart yet.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little pissed at Nintendo. They didn't put a couple key characters that I really wanted to play. I wanted to play
Who'd you
Diddy
want?
Kong. No fucking Diddy Kong in the
I thought he
game.
was in there,
He's not
no?
in the game. No Diddy
Oh,
Kong.
Maybe, well, he was,
he
well,
No
could
way.
be in a DLC
Diddy
in the
Kong
future.
or Diddy Kong
Yeah,
Racing, maybe
that's what
that'll
I'm
come out.
thinking. Is that it's going to be DLC later on? Like Link's not in there. What? Link has been in it. Diddy Kong's been in it before. Why
Link's
the
not
hell
in
not
there?
add these
Wow,
guys?
yeah,
Mhm.
I'm
that's
like,
true.
Spoilers
Huh.
for our audience out there that
Well, but Link isn't a Mario. He has been in it, but he's not a Mario character. Are there other ones that aren't Mario characters that are in there?
there's
Because I
got to
don't
be at
think
least a couple
so.
more that I'm not even thinking about. But like Diddy Kong was the one that I kept looking to see where I could unlock him at, and
I
he's
mean, I guess
not in
Donkey
there.
Kong
So.
isn't a Mario character, so
not
um,
technically, no, no.
no. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I didn't
So,
unlock all the characters yet. One thing I don't like about it is that instead of having one character and you just hit a button to switch their outfits to different ones, they make a new character select for every single upgraded unlocked character
wow.
skin. So you have
Oh,
like just
weird.
this huge list of people that you can pick from, but really it's like a third of that because each one has like three or four
The multiple
skins.
outfits, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that about it. It just makes you scroll forever. So,
All right, I do have one more bitch about Mario Kart.
Wow, well,
okay.
Selden, unleash.
I think they made it too easy. I think they really with all the tricks that you can do off of walls, off rails, off posts, and everything is a shortcut now. It used to
I mean,
be
did you
like,
play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? That was a lot of shortcuts.
yeah, I skipped that one. But
Okay, well, that was
but
the
it's
main one for
yeah,
like 10 years.
I played eight, but not deluxe.
Well, but that was
But
similar,
either
right?
way, it just seems there used to be like dedicated shortcuts that these were the only
Yeah, there were
shortcuts you
like
could
two
do.
or three per track.
Now
Yes,
it's
yes.
like anywhere you can trick off of, you can create a shortcut and boost and everything.
Yeah, but the main problem, not a problem. So there is that, but then also even if you do that, it doesn't really get you that far ahead because people can catch right up to you. So it's more just doing it for fun because you can't really ever get that far ahead of anybody. It's not like in the
Because there's
first
always the
couple Mario
ketchup coming in
Karts.
the back.
There's
Yeah,
always like, oh, everyone behind you gets lightning or blue shells or whatever, so you can never really get far ahead. It's not that much about skill, it's just kind of like luck. But that's how it's been for the last 10, 15 years, you know. The first and second ones were Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64. That was mainly skill. You could
Yeah.
really just lap people in that game. And ever since then, you can't do
it's
that.
just
So.
been there's some catch-up
I mean,
mechanic.
and I
Yeah,
get it. I mean, and I'm not talking about being versus the computer. There was always the catch up on that and all of them. But versus other people, it was about skill. But now, and I get it, you don't want people to just run away with it because people are just going to want to quit, especially if you're playing online. If you get way far ahead, people are just like, well, screw this, I'm
I
leaving.
can't
Or
make it
even
back. Yep.
or even your friends just in person, like, go, well, this isn't fun because you're just like killing me every time. So I get why they do it, but it is a little annoying with somebody playing. If you're playing and you're going, I'm really good at this. I want to just murder these people. I want to get way ahead. You can't. You can't do that. So the shortcuts are fun, but they don't really do that much, honestly. In the long run, they're good for like time trial stuff. If you want to get like fastest time, you could do that. But anyway, yeah. So that's all I got. Derek, how about you?
I as my per usual, I played a bunch of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and
No way.
I know it's a shocker. Yeah, I play that
Whoa.
like whenever I have spare time. And then I put in 3 nights this week of Elden Ring Night Rain with
Nice.
Tiff and Mr. GBMS, and that game is fun. It's not my style of game. I get very, very frustrated, and I let my teammates know when I'm frustrated with them.
That's weird. That's just out
I
of
can't
character for
imagine.
you.
I know,
Yeah.
like, why would I ever be rude? But uh,
But with Call of
Jump
Duty,
on the
so
fucking
what
pad!
what
yeah.
what level are you at on Call of Duty?
I am now in Prestige 10 level 218. So
Out of 1,000?
out of 1,000. So by the time Call of Duty Black Ops 7 comes out, I should be at 1,000. And then I'll
And then
rinse
you
and
will have
repeat and do
done
the
all of
same
that,
thing.
and then
Yes.
you don't
I get to
reap any
start
rewards
over
because you're
and
gonna
do, yes.
start over.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All
So,
right, man.
all
Whatever
right.
floats your boat.
Well, on that, why don't we jump on over to the new releases? First new release out this week. Sad Tiffany's not here this week because it's Death Stranding 2 on the beach out for the PlayStation 5, and we all know she's our Death Stranding correspondent. So I didn't play the first one. I think both of you did.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, I
Yes,
think.
yeah.
I think that Selden played it more than I did. Or
Yeah,
maybe
I
you beat
finished
it,
it.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, I beat
Yeah,
it.
I think I got about three-quarters of the way through, maybe halfway through, and I kind of got lost.
Yeah, if you're
But
watching our video version, what you see on the screen is basically the fucking game.
Load that backpack up with shit and deliver it to the next checkpoint.
Yep. It's a carrying game.
it's a Stranding game.
And it's a Stranding game. Yes, it's obviously a Stranding game. We could never not say that. But it's also a carrying game. So
It's a mail delivery game,
Is
basically.
Tiff picking it up?
she is not. She actually just tonight picked up Elden Ring proper to play.
Ooh.
So now she's playing Elden Ring proper upstairs.
Nice.
Gonna
We
love
should
that.
play.
It's a
I
fun
can
game.
help her out. I got a really high level character.
Tiff does not like you helping her out in those type of games. I'll tell you that right now. Do not help her out. Don't
you're
drop
gonna
her a
have
weapon.
to.
Don't walk her through something. She wants to figure
No.
that shit out. She's a hardcore gamer in those type of games. Don't fucking help her out.
She's yes. So
I mean, help during buses is part of the game. So
I guess, yeah. I've heard this since I never played the proper version. I only played the multiplayer one, but yeah, she's probably, let's see, it's 8:30 now, so she's probably 2 hours into it. So we'll see if she gets frustrated.
Yeah. So Selden, if I wanted to just pick my original Death Stranding game back up, say I'm about halfway through, is there a way to just kind of figure out what I need to do next? Seriously?
I think you'd be best just to get Death Stranding 2 and start playing that. Forget
I don't
one ever
like doing
existed
that though.
and just move on to 2.
Because I want to like experience. I know the ending's probably going to be really screwed up, and I need to like get to that. I mean, I guess I could watch.
Norman Reedus is probably gonna shit a baby out his eye. Like you just never know.
And you know, speculative spoilers because for the first one, because I don't know for sure, but I'm like, so the beach is like where you die and then you go to the beach to like be reborn or something, and that's where the babies have something to do with that, but I can't figure out. I don't know. So then I want to see what happens at the end of it, and then I thought, well, that would be the end.
All right.
But apparently, it's not the end because this is the second one.
Let's just get Kojima on the phone and we'll just ask him.
No.
No spoilers. Sorry.
Honestly,
we'll talk to you later.
If you really want to know the story, watch a YouTube video of somebody speed running it and get the main gist of it and see the ending that way. Because just to start playing that game again, it's going to take you way too long to catch back up from where you're at. I think coming back.
I have roads. I've been building roads, so I did that, but I just don't know where to go next. I think maybe I will know. But is there anything in the HUD or anything in the anything
that
descriptive
points you where to go?
I don't believe so, but it's been a while since I played. I don't think there's like a library of cutscenes that you've seen before or anything like that. But
all right.
I would just move
Well,
on to.
maybe I'll pull up a guide. Maybe I'll try to figure out where I am. Pull
Okay.
up a guide and then start from that guide and be like, okay, go here next, and then I'll
That's
just.
how Shadow spends every morning. He's like, let's figure out where I am, and I'll pull up a
That's right.
guide. Yes.
Yeah, just where the hell am I? Okay, what do I have to do today?
Who's
Give
this
me a
lady
guide.
beside me?
And
Oh,
then
that's
let
my
me
wife. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Who's
pull up a
this
list.
little
Who
one
are
that's
these
been in the
little
room?
humans? Oh, those are my
Yeah,
kids.
this is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife. How
Guys,
Let
did I
the
what's
get
in
days
here?
this?
go by. All
Let the
right.
water roll me down.
Wow, we really took an aside there. All right, next new
Same
release
as it
out
ever
this
was.
same as it ever was, is System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster. Now, I know I don't usually list these things, but I know Shadow is fucking balls deep in this
Oh,
shit.
I was so looking at this going, whoa, he put in a remaster,
Yes,
not a new release.
and it's out for the
But this is
Xbox, the
like,
PlayStation, the Switch, the PC, the Mac, and fucking Linux.
and phones and fridges and wherever.
I never
It comes
put
in a
these
board game
things
version
on
too.
here. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I did
Uh,
this just for you, Shadow. So
Thank you. So I mean, this is what 25 years. That's a lot.
yeah, it probably
So
looked
I
like shit 25 years ago, and it probably looks better now.
It does. I mean, the first one did. So I kickstarted the first one, and so I got that digital version, and that came out like 2 years ago, and this is already out, and so they're giving us all this one for free as well. So I didn't remember that that was part of it, but if you backed, I think it was $30 level, they're just giving you a code for this one too, which is great.
So wait a
That's
second.
gonna
If it just came out 2 years ago, it's not the 25th anniversary.
Shadow got the
The
23rd
first one came
anniversary.
out.
Yes.
The first one came out 2 years ago.
Oh,
This one came
the
out,
original 25th anniversary came out 2 years ago.
I guess, yeah. I don't know if it's 25th or what. They just were kickstarting it, whatever year it was. It wasn't like an anniversary version, but it took like 7 years or something to make that remaster, that first one. So they probably were like, well, we have all these assets already and it's all ready to go. Let's just make the second one too. So they're just giving us a code for it. So I think it's out on the 26th, and last time they gave us a code the day before on the backer kit. So I should get one for this one too, which will be nice because haven't actually finished the first one yet, but it looks really nice. I mean,
Where'd you
yeah,
play that?
looks
The Xbox,
modern.
the PlayStation, the Switch, Linux,
Xbox.
Mac, PC, on the
My
fridge in
phone,
the other
on the
room.
fridge, on the fridge, on the board game. No, I made it on a board game, played it like that. It looked kind of bad, but no. So yeah, I'm excited they're giving us codes for that. So that's really cool of them, which is probably kind of a consolation prize for waiting so long for the first one to come out. Like, here you go, have this one too. But so I'll get that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Selden, do you have any interest in this?
No fucks.
Nope. Nor
If
do I.
any of our listeners who like BioShock will like System Shock because that's kind of the spiritual successor to that. Oh, speaking of, I haven't downloaded Firebreak yet. I've been too busy with my sister's wedding and stuff, so I just hadn't really done that yet. But I'm gonna buy that shortly, probably, which is also kind of BioShocky. Which I'm gonna read some reviews on that, but I think it's doing
Isn't that
pretty
on
well.
Game Pass?
No, it
I
is
don't
not.
think so. No, no.
It's Remedy,
Nah.
and no, they didn't do Game Pass. But that's also out. That's been out since last week. But we talked about it last week, yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop over into gaming news? First story. Xbox's VR headset with Meta may be released sooner than we thought. So this is it's kind of like the Meta X Xbox kind of thing. It's going to be the third version of the Meta Quest. And it's going to have, like Microsoft has said, play our shit anywhere. And that's kind of how it's going to be.
TM.
Yes, yes. Play our shit anywhere. Trademark.
TM.
So it's kind of exciting to see this coming down the pike, especially where like PlayStation had PlayStation VR and then PlayStation VR 2, and everybody had always speculated that Microsoft would do their own VR headset. And then, of all people, Microsoft partnered with Meta. So I think this is kind of cool. I may need to add another VR headset to our collection of VR headsets. I know, Selden, you have a few VR headsets, right?
Yeah, we do have a couple of them. I I've played the Xbox app in the headset. It
Okay, yeah,
works.
so that's kind of similar to what they're
It's
pitching. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be more integrated. It sounds like from what I was reading on it. So, is it something that's going to drive me to go out and buy another Oculus or Meta, whatever you want to call it? No,
Yeah, it's not
absolutely
called
not.
Oculus anymore. No.
It's just the next. It's the next iteration. And are they taking major jumps in technology in this? I don't think so. So it's not gonna. It's not gonna be a driving
Yeah, I
force for
think
me to
it
go
is
out and
kind
buy
of
this.
minor as far as the
The
generation over
display,
generation.
the
Yes,
ice.
yeah.
So I don't see myself running out. Like if one of my kids ends up breaking one of the two that they use and wants another one,
Or
it'll
Selden
probably
steps on it by mistake.
maybe
Oh,
at
I got to get a new
Christmas time.
one.
So
Yeah.
maybe, but my money's going elsewhere at this point. So.
Shadow, do you have any VR at all?
I have never owned a VR anything.
All right. So
Never played a VR anything. I've actually never experienced VR.
Even at C2E2 or any of those things?
No. It's one of those things.
Wow.
I just haven't done it. I'm not opposed to it. I will, but I haven't really just come across a situation where it was available and I haven't ever bought or tried a MetaQuest or anything like that. So
It
yeah.
sounds like, well, I heard sex is cool, but I
I don't
never
know.
had
Like,
an opportunity to, check it out.
here's the thing though, like if it's so amazing, why do people not have them? No one I know owns anything VR. They don't be selling that
Two
great.
people here that have at least
I'm
two or
sorry, in
three.
person is what I meant.
You know
Like
me in
in my
person,
neighborhood, in my
motherfucker.
friends.
Oh.
You know what I meant, like close to me, like right here, like I can go to their house and try it out.
Yeah.
Or, they're bringing it over to my house,
You can go to Jay's house. Jay's
it's
got
always been
stuff.
all right. But it's
Did you
always
show
been
up on
kind
Jay's
of
door?
I just invite you to
it.
Jay's house.
Hey, Derek told me to
I
swing
show
by.
Hey, Duty, they said I could come over. Is
I know
it
you got a little
cool?
kid now, but yeah, I
Yeah.
got.
Are you playing Warcraft? I'm sorry. But no, I mean, it's always been kind of prohibitive with equipment. So, you want to play it, you have to not, it's getting better, but it's more like, hey, drop $600 and you can play it. So you could play it I think they had PlayStation VR setups in Best Buys and things for a while. I don't think they do anymore because VR2 wasn't even, I think it's through mail order. It's not even in stores.
It's starting the mail order, yeah.
Yeah. And then otherwise, I mean, you could do things where you could touch your phone to do it that way, which I never really had a phone like that. I just had an iPhone, so I didn't have that. It just never really
Well,
happened for me. So I don't know. Someday,
someday you'll hit
probably.
that shit. Yeah.
I think I need advice on the easiest, cheapest way to kind of get into it. I don't have a PC that really runs anything
I would
major at
say
all.
then the Meta is probably your cheapest entry vector.
And is that something you could run without a PC, or does it have to be?
Yes. And if you do have a PC, you can backload it with PC stuff. So yeah, it covers you both ways.
And is it wireless, wired, like
all wireless.
wired to?
Yeah, all the new ones are wireless. So.
All right. Well, but then you
don't need cameras or anything yet.
Then I'm also supporting Zuckerberg, so I don't know about that. But
oh my god! Oh, look at you guys.
Anyway,
Twitter.
Not to get social political.
Yes, yeah. I'm still on Twitter, everybody. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's not Zuckerberg.
No, but that's your other opponent.
Yeah. Yes. What's the original story we were talking
about? Xbox's VR headset. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So, end result, no, I'm not going out to buy an Xbox VR headset. Don't need it right now, so
I may get one just because.
Is it going to be black?
Expendable
income?
I
haven't even seen the mock-ups of it, so.
I would say if I was going to get one, that would probably be the one I would buy the quickest because I play most of my stuff on Xbox, and
it already has that connectivity and everything else.
Yeah.
Game Pass will be there for you. So.
Yeah, that could potentially be my next one as well. So, all right, next story.
Where are the Switch 2 indie games? We talked about the attach rate for the Switch.
Oh, of course, Sultan picks the indie game story.
And I'm not surprised that the indie games aren't there. I mean, you got the full library of whatever the Switch marketplace has got of all the old indie games that are accessible through that. You're not going to see the new Switch 2 indie games coming out for a little while, I would think, just because of the development cycle. I don't think a lot of guys were pushing to get that stuff. They were probably already writing code for the original Switch, and they probably just pushed it out on that, knowing that people could still upload it and download it or pay for it on Switch 2 and move with it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they were also saying that they weren't giving them dev kits, indie
I could
developers.
see
So,
I could
yeah.
see that too, because they were saying they were so low on their hardware. Like they didn't give anybody pre hardware at all, like any reviewers, all
yeah.
that stuff. But
So
I
that's
don't
a
know
big
what
part of it too. Then, so yeah,
I agree with you, Sheldon. I think that I mean it's the same thing as kind of like when the Xbox Series came out. The Xbox One was still around. They were still putting out games for that, and they were backwards compatible to the Series X. So why focus specifically on the Switch 2? If you're an indie dev, you want to have something that you're selling to the most amount of people at once. So it doesn't make any sense to make something that's specifically only for the Switch 2 when you
Which is
have
in high demand,
100,
and yes,
120 million Switch owners that can also play on the Switch 2. You could make like a Switch 2 version or Switch 2 update that gives a better experience, but to make it exclusive to Switch 2 doesn't make any sense at this point for an indie dev because you don't have the amount of money that the big devs have. You need to make the money where you can, and that is the install base. And Switch 2, even though it's selling well, it's only 4 million people out there that can play those games
yeah.
versus 120. So it's backwards compatible. It just yeah, makes no sense to focus on the Switch 2. I mean, you could do versions, but yeah, no, I get it for sure.
Fair enough. Next story.
Nintendo Switch 2 third-party developer claims that sales were below our lowest estimates. Now, to be clear, I read this article and they don't say who that developer was.
Yeah,
It's
they don't.
just
I read through this article 3 times thinking I was
it's
going to see
just
who it was.
there's
It's
one
just,
specific there's one line in here and that's it. And the rest
yeah.
of it's about other stuff. It's like one third-party Switch 2 developer told the game business that sales numbers were below our lowest estimates, highlighting lukewarm performance of third-party launch titles in the first 2 weeks of Switch's 2
Well,
lifespan.
we just heard
There
about
are
third
not,
party titles.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
it's probably
I mean,
Cyberpunk.
it's, I mean, their Cyberpunk probably sold a shitload. Cyberpunk's probably one of those in the point too. That was
Not
the games that were
probably, yes.
attached
Yeah.
because I had really good reviews on like all of the reviewers who were checking the performance. Digital Foundry did a whole thing on it, and they're like, "Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
looks great. We don't know how it looks this good, but it does. Like, it's up there with. It looks like it could be running like a PS4, like a maybe even low PS5. I don't know. Looks great. So, I don't know maybe people aren't buying specifically Switch 2 third-party games because there aren't that many. I don't know who this person is. I don't know which game is theirs, but their lineup, and I did forget this, Bravely Default Flying Furry HDB remaster, which is the remaster of the Bravely Default, the first 3DS game. That came
Ah,
out,
okay. Yeah.
and I think that's one that I mentioned I would be interested in getting too, but maybe people aren't buying that day one right now. Cyberpunk 2077 came out, but then otherwise you have Mario Kart World and you have all the stuff that is already out. So, I mean, there people were saying in this article that some of the stores people were coming in and saying they didn't want to buy things that were on game key cards that weren't physically on the card. Um, but then others are saying, there's a Nico, Niko, partners director,
Yep.
saying that I hate to break it to people, but the I refuse to buy a game for my Nintendo 2 Switch if the physical version is not on the cart crowd are both a minority today and will be an even smaller minority in five
Oh, it's
years.
going to shrink
Um,
nonstop. Yes.
I 100% agree with that. There will be the collectors who will say, I'll never buy a game that isn't actually physically on the cart. I'll stick to limited run games, or I'll just buy the first party Nintendo games, which are so far all on the cart, and everything else I either won't play or I'll buy it on something else. The thing is, though, down the line, 5 years, you will have no option to have it on a physical cart or disc fully. It just won't be there. They're just going to be digital. Xbox is pretty much going fully digital. PlayStation will
Yeah.
follow. Nintendo will do it on the carts for
But
now,
they'll have to
but
go there someday.
you can't put 100 gig games on a Nintendo Switch cart. You just can't. You could put it on maybe a two cart. I don't know how that would work. But otherwise, even at the 64 gig size, games that are over that won't fit on there. So there's
Yeah,
nothing you can do about that. So, and they're not going to like double the size to 128 because then game carts are going to cost $100 a pop for any game,
yeah.
and people won't pay that. I mean, they're barely paying 90 now for Mario Kart, and every other game is 70 to 80. If you're talking 100, 120 for a cart, or you can buy it digitally for 80,
For the
people
same
aren't going to
price
do
that you've
that.
always paid.
So,
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah, I
know. And
mean,
that's a whole separate conversation. Go
yeah,
ahead,
I mean,
Tom.
correct me if I'm wrong, but carts are faster than DVDs and CDs in read, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's more straight through. Granted, they have that, but I'm like, it's still going to be faster if you install that game on the actual system,
absolutely. Yes, yeah.
Well, and a lot
even
of
if
them
it's
you
on a
have
cart.
to.
Yeah, so it's
Um,
like
yeah.
with the amount of memory and everything else as these systems are taking up, and then you're limited on what the Switch has got. Even though it's pretty, I haven't seen any lag or anything like that on any of the games I've had, but I mean, you're still limited on what you can do on those things. So I'm
Yep.
leaving that data on the cart is stupid.
Yeah. I mean, having basically right now, the carts are as fast as the express cards that you have to buy for the Switch too. So they're the same type of speed. So having you have a 500 gig or 512 gigs express card, that's going to cost you 120 bucks for that SD card. Or you have it on a cart, which will cost you for the cart. But if right now it's the same as buying digital, I get it because that 64 gig game, if it's on the cart, is saving you a ton of money because you don't have to buy 64 gigs of space
Yeah, but
to
if you're
throw it on.
buying the space, then you can buy a bunch of these games digitally and put them all in the same thing. So,
You could buy them digitally, download them, play them, delete them, download the next one, play it, delete it. But if you want to store a bunch of games somewhere, be it on a cart or be it all on your system,
yeah,
there's you got to spend that money somewhere. So the developers are going to spend the money to buy those carts and sell you the carts with the full game, or you're going to have to buy the space yourself, download it to that space, and then buy more SD cards and swap them out. I mean, right now it's really expensive. So it's nobody was really winning in this right now, but personally, I don't really want to just swap carts, but if
nobody
it's actually in the
does.
cart, I might buy that. So I get the whole I don't want to, but I don't get it's not for preservation reasons for me. It would be because then I don't have to use that space for this game. I can just have the game separately and pop it out, pop in a new one. But if it's a game key card, it's doing me no good because I almost never resell games, so it's not gonna.
You're just downloading and then deleting and re-downloading when you need it,
Yeah.
and deleting again and rinse and repeat.
Yep.
So,
So
I also think it's the cart guys with that false sense of digital rights ownership. Like I think that a
yes.
lot of them feel that like, oh, I want to have it on the cart because I want to hold the cart on forever and play that game forever. It's
Yeah.
still subject to the same digital rights media
yeah, it could
agreement,
still
Yeah.
go
digital
away.
or through the hard
Yeah,
copy. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean that's semantics, but it isn't like it used to be. Like I have a bunch of old systems, really old systems with carts that have chips in them that I can fix and I can make sure they work forever. And they're mine. They sit in my
yep,
house and I can use them forever. The new carts are not always fully on the cart, even if the game's on the cart. They have updates and blah blah blah
yeah.
over time. I don't have to update my copy of Super Mario Kart from SNES because it's just, I'm sorry, Super Nintendo.
There
Um,
you go. Yes, yeah,
because it's just there and it never
yeah.
changes. It's on the cart. And if something goes wrong, I can fix it and whatever. It's just there. But anything else, for the most part, you're gonna have a version 1.1, a version 1.3, a version whatever. Every time you pop it in, there's an update.
Yep.
So if you want to go back and play that original version,
You
maybe,
can't.
but sometimes they'll make you update it to play it online, and then you have to update it. So it's not actually the original game to begin with.
It's true.
It's a lot of semantics, but anyway, that wasn't really the initial reason for that article, but it sounds like we don't know who that developer was who said there were low sales, but I'd say just wait a little bit because people just got the systems.
Maybe somebody will buy your shit. Yeah.
Maybe. We'll
All
see.
right. Next story. Microsoft. Future Xbox experiences won't be tied to one device. And this is now like the third week we've talked about this, but it keeps making headlines. This is you can play in your Xbox, you can play on your TV, you can play in your ROG, Xbox X, or whatever the fuck it's called. I think this is a great move by Microsoft. I think the other guys.
This is an Xbox. I don't know if you can.
Yeah. Oh, this is an Xbox.
My water bottle is an Xbox.
Yes. Everything's an Xbox. Sultan's head's an Xbox.
It is, man. You play all kinds of greatness up there.
My red blonde hair is an Xbox.
So I think Microsoft doubling down on this is putting pressure on the other guys. Like, that's the only way I see this, because it shouldn't be in the news cycle every week. And it's been the news cycle now for 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks in a row. So, and then the ROG thing really kind of doubled down on it, where they're like, oh yeah, we got, I can already play Xbox games on my ROG Ally over there. Now, granted, they're the PC versions of Xbox games, but still, and for them to say all their future shit's coming out on everything and you can play it everywhere. I think this is just great for gamers. There's nothing negative anyone could say about this story unless you're just a Microsoft hater.
Yeah. I mean, I know that whatever they're doing is best for their bottom lines, and so I'm not going to go in, thinking, "Oh, this is all for us." I'm sure whatever they're doing is for them, and
That's
through
probably
that
true too,
for
yeah.
us. But if it benefits us, then great. I mean, if I can play something anywhere, and also it's easier for them because they can sell everything anywhere, great. I think that it makes sense, and I think it's whatever makes things better for our gamers and does not take away our rights, then great. I'm for it.
And I know you said it's all about profits or whatever you said there, kind of underlying, but I really think Phil Spencer, I do genuinely believe, having met the man many, many times and talked to him, I really think he wants everybody to be able to play everything everywhere. That's always been his mantra, even 6, 8 years before all this stuff happened. So I really think he's genuinely interested in just getting games out there in the hands of gamers and having people play together and have a good time. And when we all play, everyone wins, I think is his go-to statement. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that I believe that to the extent that, he can be that way about gaming and still be the head of Xbox. Obviously, he's got to answer to the board and all that stuff. So there is that. But in the end, I do believe that personally, I think that is true for him. I don't know him personally, but just from what I've seen of him and his attitude and just the way he carries himself, I believe that is probably most likely true, and that's good. Yeah, he's made mistakes in the past, but I don't think that it's ever been on purposefully making things worse for anybody.
No, everybody has a slip up every now and then. So
yeah. So I mean, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I also don't want to I'm not bootlicking him or anything. So there are things he's done wrong, and I'm sure that there will be things he does wrong in the future. Same as the head of any of these companies, but I do believe that in the end he has the best intentions, I would say.
I would agree
For the most part.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the guy in the next story.
All right, next story, Selden.
Thanks to Borderlands 4 fans, this handy feature has been added to the game. Fans were clamoring for a mini maps. They didn't see it in the previews for the upcoming Borderlands 4 release. But due to some dedicated workers under Randy Pitchford, they were able to at least get some kind of combat radar increase into the game instead of. It's not necessarily really a mini map, but at least it's still giving us something to
You
give us an
see red
awareness.
dots where shit is.
Yeah,
Yes.
see red dots where shit is. Looking at the video of the preview of it, I mean, there's red dots everywhere because in the Borderlands games, there's fucking enemies.
There's
all
shit
over the
everywhere.
place.
Everywhere. That's probably where there wasn't one before because they're everywhere.
So thank you for the fans that kept pushing that idea, that fan requested feature, because I think that's definitely going to be a handy feature once we get our hands into playing this a little bit more, and for the, I guess, a small group of employees that splintered off from their regular work to work on this on the outside. So good for them, because I'm sure they're putting in major hours right now anyway. So for them to find any extra hours to put in these little features,
add a feature, it's ludicrous. But yeah, I saw the mini map video. I thought it looked great with the radar kind of thing. It's not really a mini map. I called it a mini map, but I should probably check my swing. It's not a mini map. It is a thing in the upper right hand corner that shows you red dot where shit is. But that's all you ever need to know in Borderlands. Like,
yeah, it's like Aliens, probably, right?
Yes, kind of the same thing. Yes, yeah. Send out a ping. There they are. Let's go kill them. On to the next one. On to the next one. On to the next one.
That makes
and
sense.
We're still looking at a September 12th date for Borderlands 4 release, so hopefully they stick to that and we get that game on time. So
there you go. That should be on Switch as well.
That's one of the few things that's on my short-term radar. So yeah.
Yeah, it is supposed to be on the Switch 2 version, arriving at a later date. It's not going to be the September 12th date.
Oh, okay.
It is scheduled to be out there.
You'll have to play it on a real console.
I wouldn't buy it there anyway, but I was just thinking about the release schedule for Switch 2 being so slim. So it sounds like it's going to stay slim.
It's certainly going to stay slim except for first-party titles. Yes, I think we covered that. So.
Yeah.
All right, next story!
Remedy is trying to fix FBC Firebreak in response to middling reviews and player feedback. So, apropos of my previous statements about me buying this, I guess we'll see. The developer is particularly focused on improving the multiplayer games onboarding. And it looks like this is Engadget. It says we enjoyed our hands-on time with FBC, but reviewers report a less rosy picture after playing the game over a longer period of time. It says they found that charming but inconsistent in terms of difficulty, and game's mission design was kind of messy, lack of explanation for weapons and abilities, and I think that there's not much story because it's just a multiplayer shooter game. It's not an actual first player one single player game. So it's not a campaign. So I get it. Something Control generally excelled at, of course, because it was the first single player game. So, and I don't think that, and it says they don't have any plans to address shortcomings in narrative, but really, I didn't expect it to be a narrative. It just seemed like it was just a multiplayer shooter, just kind of screwing around for fun. So, I guess we'll see.
Like the original Titanfall had no story. It was just a multiplayer game.
And it was great, although I will say Titanfall 2 was better.
It was
still one of the best
probably
games.
One of my favorite campaigns in the history of campaigns. We actually were talking about this, Tiffany and Dylan and I were talking about this the other night over dinner, and nobody can think of a campaign that was kind of more out of the box. And when you get to that level where you're flip-flopping between the time frames, and it was so innovative. So there's very few games with something like that. But Titanfall 1, no campaign. So
if you like the Titanfall 2, that time thing, Dishonored 2 has a similar thing in one of the levels, which is the best level in the game of Dishonored 2, and it is excellent. So
I just want to point out, I did pull up the Xbox Game Pass. It is on Game Pass.
FBC Firebreak is on Game Pass?
FBC Firebreak is on Game Pass.
No way.
It is, and because the reason why I asked that originally is because I heard that it was getting flamed for being an Xbox Day One drop, and the game was not living up to par. And so I just did pull up.
All right, so we know what Shadow's doing tonight.
What I'm doing right now is downloading it if it's on there. I don't know.
And the show's going to go all staticky on Shadow's image.
I don't think it. No, I'm not going to download it yet, but I don't think it is. It's not listed here.
I'm looking at it right now.
All right. I just thought maybe you got like a discount or something, but I don't know, man.
All right. Last story.
It's installable. Okay, well then I'm buying that. I'm not buying it. I'm playing it.
You're
not right now,
it.
though. Not right now.
You can play it now with no regrets after the show.
It's only 13 gigs. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty small. That won't script your video for that long. All right. Well, yeah. Last story. Beat Games is ending support for Beat Saber on PS4 and PS5. So people have loved since the kind of heyday of VR, Beat Saber. It's been a go-to on all of these platforms.
It's still a mainstay on like all of them. Like so many people still play that game.
I know, except on PS4 and PS5 now.
I have never played that game.
Killing the PlayStation VR. They just.
Yeah.
I think they want to hide it. I think they want to make an ET out of it.
But see, I have the adapter that we talked about a couple months ago, so I can hook up my PSVR 2 up to my PC and play games there on Steam, and so they're not useless. I guess conceivably I could play Beat Saber on my PC using the PSVR 2. Yeah, it's plugged in, so I can't lift it up the adapter. But
going through Steam, I mean, yeah, the Valve or whatever it is that's on there, it's on there. So, and you could probably mod it on your PC, so you can load up any song that you want. And
yeah, that's probably true
opposed to the PS4, PS5 version. So
yes, that's really what it boils down to is the music licensing. Like, even if you still want to play Rock Band or any of those things, if you hadn't already downloaded songs on let's say an Xbox, just for the sake of things,
or bought songs.
Yes, if they're not already on an Xbox, you cannot re-download those songs.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. I thought it was that you couldn't buy them but if you already bought them, you could download them. You can't download them?
No. We had this problem in our house a few weeks ago. Because we were going to also do, in addition to all the other party stuff we were going to do, we're going to go Rock Band nuts. And we had to find the one specific Xbox that had all the songs. And we went through, between generations, like 7 360s and then 8 Xbox Ones and then 5 or 6 series.
I would have given up after looking at one additional Xbox. I would have been like, no, we're going to do something else, guys.
Yeah, so we were digging through the console pile to find the one that had the songs. So
were you flipping off the Xbox 360 drives and putting on the new drives?
No. No drives ever leave a console, so that makes it a lot easier. Yes, yeah. But yeah, that's really what it boils down to is this music licensing and how long it lasts for, and yeah, it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. So you can always still play Beat Saber somewhere else. I know Selden's probably playing it on his Quest right now as we do the show. Yeah. See, there he is.
All right, so I'm gonna create a drop here that you can insert later. FBC Firebreak is on Game Pass. Just drop that in there. When I was talking about it, you can just delete the part where I said it wasn't on Game Pass.
Oh, okay. No. So that's to fix you looking like a dumbass. Yeah. Right. I got you, bud.
Thank you. All right, you'll totally do that. I know.
We'll go ahead and
remind me Sunday at 7 a.m. to swap out Shadow saying that he doesn't know FBC is on Game Pass.
Okay, right. James Bond.
And since you're already doing that, take out the point where we couldn't remember the name of Rocket League. So.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. I used to edit this show so much more. There were no ums or ahs or this or that, but it would take me so long. So now we can all seem dumb together.
And that's why we do this every week now, because it's so much easier.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So that wraps up gaming news. If you have stories you want us to talk about next week, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com or comment on this episode's thread in the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors. If we had them, we'd pimp them, but we don't, so we won't. But if you want to pimp something on the show, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You tell us what you want to sell. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related, twitter.com/Tool to Play. Everything podcast related is twitter.com/still_got_game. Facebook the fuck out of us, facebook.com/Tool to Play. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tool to Play. Now, I know the last few weeks we spent a lot of time talking about Selden's innovative work. And in all honesty, it was. But today we'll focus more on other shows that are in this unlimited archive of content. Tiff's immature interviews, hits, quick hits, thick and thin with LB and Duty. Every episode of this show. So much content there, and it costs you fucking nothing. So go to youtube.com/toolplay and subscribe. Please rate and review the podcast on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Write something nice to go with it. Selden has this robot store. Go there, rate the podcast, give it 5 robots. There's also Amazon podcasts that we learned about. Go there, 5 Amazons, 5 swooshes,
5 Bezos,
5 Bezos, and write something nice. Just wherever you listen to the podcast, go give it the most number of things and then write 1 sentence. Selden is cool. That's all it takes. And Selden's happy now. We have a Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/still_got_game. That's one of the many places we stream the show every week. So go there and follow us and help us get our follower count up. We have a Discord channel. That's discord.me/stillgotgame. That's discord.me/stillgotgame. You can reach any of us there. And as we learned last week, you can also find Tiffany Electrify Nolan there. So any member of the current-ish podcast crew is on there. And I'm sure if you added Hitman, or you added Duty Rock, or you added some other previous host of the show, they may or may not respond to you, but at least they'll get a notification. So that's all you can hope for. So Selden, what do you want to pimp this week, bro?
Hey, by the time this episode drops, it's going to be the 4th of July week, so I just want to make sure everybody's safe and fun. Have a good time over the weekend. Don't blow your hands off. Get down, watch a parade, do some community service, give back to the wonderful country that we're in. Unless you're in Canada, then you can do your own thing.
That was a weird twist. I wasn't expecting the anti-Canada dig at the end, but you do you.
They have their own Independence Day. We can celebrate that then.
It's their independence from France.
But aren't they still tied to France?
I don't know what it's independence from. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no one knows.
They're freedom
Australia?
from Spain.
No.
Kit probably knows, but he's not here to speak up for himself. So
It's true. They're in a whole different time zone up there, like their own time zone. Yeah. It's probably like 10 at night there.
Can DT. Yep. All right, Shadow, what's up with you? What do you got?
I just have my link tree still. I got all my stuff there. Brian S. Emmerich, BrianSemerick. I'll go with you. I'll pimp the Trevor Project again for the end of this Pride Month. But otherwise, I don't have anything specific. Just help out who you can when you can. I know there's a lot of people out there who need help, so do that. How about you, Derek?
Fair enough. Like I always say, all my shit's at linktree/Derek Nolan. That's linktr.ee/Derek Nolan. All the show shit is there, and I'm still bridging months to make sure that we get maximum coverage. So Dana Farmer and the Jimmy Fund are still on my link tree. Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation is still on my my link tree. American Cancer Society also on my link tree. And then for Pride Month, like Shadow just said, the Trevor Project, suicide fucking blows, and you should feel comfortable in your own skin. Outright International and the Human Rights Campaign. So definitely, if you're a bigot, pick the breast cancer ones. If you're not, pick the other ones. But give your shekels to someone. Why are you guys both cracking up? That wasn't meant to be funny.
If you're a bigot, you can fuck off.
It was just more meant that some potential fans of the show might not be as into LGBTQ stuff as some of us are. So
really like boobies.
I can't even believe you
Is
said
that what you're saying?
No, I just can't even believe you said that out loud. But all right,
I'm just trying to interpret what's going through your head on this.
No,
right now.
I think we may have some people from certain parts of the country that are not as friendly, LGBTQ friendly as the rest of us. So,
oh, okay.
Yes. So that's why I was like, go breast cancer. I wasn't like boobies. So, but yeah, you do.
Both sides can support boobies. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that this is true. There's not a single person that doesn't like boobies.
I mean, they've got blue feet and cute bills.
Wow, you went the bird thing. All right,
bird route. All right.
Wow, I wasn't. That was a plot twist. All right, I want to remind everyone you can join us some Monday nights, except for next Monday night, live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Shadows Yawning, like Selden was last week, at youtube.com/tool2play, facebook.com/tool2play, twitch.tv/still_got_game, and kick.com/stillgotgame. And on that, why don't we wrap this pre-4th of July episode up? I am celebrational Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am your one and only Selden 007, Christopher Selden.
And I'm Brian Shadow. I don't know what to say, so I'm just going to say happy 4th of July, Emmerich.
Fireworks!
Pew, pew, pew.